All right. Welcome back to your latest edition for the boys of the Other League Pod. We are back with Gio and Anth for yet another week. Anth, appreciate you stepping in. You've been the best plan B we've had on the pod. So we appreciate you stepping on again, man. And we'll run through week four. We're about 3 minutes away from Thursday night of week five being done and um yeah, starting to kind of shake loose a little bit with the league, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Glad to be back for another edition of the pod. Ready to give everybody a little glimpse into week five and also look back at week four, see how some managers did, how some managers maybe exceeded expectations, some managers fell a little short. But you know, let's tackle these matchups that we got.
Yeah, we'll go week four. We'll try not to take too much time because obviously we're already in week five as the Rams are just driving down the field here in the 2 minute drill. Um,
Nice.
we'll start with me. I mean, we're just at the top of the list here, and hey, I would be remiss, I should say, if I don't comment on you going 6-0 in your predictions last week for week four. Um, yeah, I mean, we might have had a couple undefeated. I might have had a couple you know, clean sweeps, if you want to call it, in the years past of the pod. But I will note to Ryan's sake of calling out, we will get some actual data on wins and losses of just some of the predictions of the last 4 weeks. I don't have that with me today. I'm not prepared. Late night here on a Thursday night, but we're at least getting the pod out, which is important.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I mean, hey, I had a fucking hell of a week. I'll just say that. I mean, 142. Unfortunately, not the high point total for the week, but a lot better than my projections were at. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, this going into it, obviously the projections were a little low for both sides, but yeah, you were. I think I noted it last week that you needed a Justin Jefferson banger game. Like you needed to go off, and for the most part, I would say he succeeded in that despite the loss. Yeah, it was 10 catches for 126. I mean, he didn't score, but
Yeah.
you need him to average. He needs to have 20 points. Average 20 points a game. Like you need that out of your first round pick. So that was huge, and he just definitely was a major part of it. Not the only reason that you won, of course. Great performances by your receiver room. Amon-Ra St. Brown just proving once again how much of a tank he really is. 26 points, obviously the two touchdowns and whatnot. So he's just been remarkable player. Him and Puka just
Number two
just
right now. Yeah.
yeah, one and two. I've just we'll go into that obviously later with Logan's matchup, but definitely great matchup there. So like yeah, and then obviously Emeka Buka with another great performance with 20 points. I mean, it helps a little bit that Mike Evans is out, but still like he's
Yep.
produced. So definitely you can't go wrong there, despite the fact that you had to start Miles Sanders in as your second RB. Obviously that I mean obviously if Jalen Warren is banged up, that might be a problem coming out of the bye. We'll see. But yeah, you were ready to weather the storm, and yeah, despite the fact that like you had him in there, it still didn't make a difference. You still come away with a victory. And then as far as Nils goes, just unfortunately just couldn't get enough from the others on his team. I mean, obviously you're looking forward to Devon Achan having his usual 17, 18, 20 points that he's been having, but just not enough from the other guys like Krosky Merritt hasn't he was talked up a little bit, going into the start of the year because obviously he won the job and then traded Ryan Rousing Jr. But yeah, just not enough from him. And of course, Pearsall is a little banged up, so he only had eight. And then of course, Brian Thomas Jr. has not been the guy that everyone expected. I mean, 10 points from him is just not going to cut it. So um, just not enough for the Creek to continue his win streak there.
Yeah, I mean, and you kind of hit on everything really. I mean, this is a very wide receiver heavy Green Bay Packer team. It has been a good recipe for me in years past when I, had a pretty legitimate shot at winning the title or been fortunate enough to win it. But like you mentioned, I mean, those my three guys now that I got rid of Devontae, um, you know, Justin Jefferson, I think is 15 right now in the wide receiver uh, PPR through week four. So, I mean, yeah, definitely need a little bit more out of him. Obviously going through some quarterback carousel, just in Minnesota and maybe not some consistency, but That was huge. Emeka is right now the number eight wide receiver, which is huge for a rookie. And obviously, in the next couple weeks, with Mike Evans being on the bench or the IR, I should say, or not the IR, but
Mm,
out, it certainly is going to solidify, I think, his role. I mean, the kid's been great. It's
yeah,
nice to hit on a rookie wide receiver like that. And as you mentioned, Amon Ra, great. I will note, I guess, for more entertainment purposes. Nothing could infuriate you more when you see a guy go out 30 minutes before game time. So Jalen Warren gets the scratch. I see the notification. I go into my, you know, into the app. I'm looking through. I'm like, oh fuck, Kenneth Gainwell is still available. Like, cool.
Mhm.
I kid you not. He gets scooped up as I'm scrolling through available players. I mean, and I shared a text with Aaron that this is before he had the breakout, obviously. I mean, the guy had 30 points. I
Mhm.
texted him and I'm like, what unbelievable that you literally just scooped that guy. The backup that's gonna start. And his explanation was that his kid was up, and if it wasn't for that factor and he was watching the fact that Jalen Warren got announced at that time, that he probably wouldn't have made that move. So kudos to your kid, Aaron. But yeah, unbelievable. Had to scramble and throw Miles Sanders in there, which thank God did not have to be a factor in this matchup. But I do want to highlight on Nils' team. Quentin Johnson is the number four PPR wide receiver right now in fantasy. It's unbelievable. Guy has been insanely consistent every single week. I can't believe Quentin Johnson in the year of 2025 is a uh, a stud, an absolute stud in fantasy. It's a joke.
Yeah, definitely. It's just kind of surprising to see that. I mean, you think Ladd McConkey's going to be the guy. They signed Allen, and then he's stepping up in a big way. I mean, he's proven that sometimes first round picks they don't live up to the hype of the billing, but he's just been great. He's been a huge cog of Beaver Creek's team. So he's been offsetting the fact that Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't been the guy that he was last year.
And as we're basically live, Kyron Williams just fumbled on the 1 yard line as
Oh
he
my
was running it in.
God, no way!
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Fucking
It,
believable.
it's a, yeah, unbelievable. They're gonna be 4-1, with an absolutely destroyed team. But in any case, here it is, man. The commish, our esteemed leader. Um, yeah, I mean, hey, highest point total of the week, 159. I think it was just shy of Ryan's 160 something last week. I forgot exactly what his total was. Um, but yeah, I mean, hell of a week from the Bastards. And I mean, hey, as we've mentioned, and I feel bad keep kind of harping on the poor guy, but Arby's team is just in a tough spot. In a tough spot.
For sure, for sure. Just not depleted, but like just the fact that an injury to one of your team members, like say for example Joe Burrow, really just deflated Jamar Chase's value. I mean, he has not done anything close to what he's done previously, and obviously he's just one of the best players in NFL. But like, it's just showing that you need a quarterback in this league, and the quarterback's going to drive your value big time. So they're just, man, I don't know where Jamar Chase is. I was
18.
18, which seems like it's the worst. I mean, just looking at his statistics, I mean,
Yeah.
he only has 5 for 23 there. I mean, and obviously Chase Brown too. You're relying on Cincinnati to do well, and in this case, it backfires a little bit because yeah, Chase Brown has a good year last year. It's a good keeper. Nothing wrong with the keeper option, but just sometimes like whether it's not your fault per se, Ben, but like it's just like it's a fact that like sometimes you just gotta rely on two guys in the same team, and it's just like bites them in the ass a little bit, and other guys are just not producing at all. I mean, we already touched on this many times in the pod. I mean, the Matthew Golden pick was a little bit of a reach. He has 11, which is probably his best performance so far as a Packer. But maybe better days are coming. But the thing is, with the guys like Jaden Reed being out, Christian Watson out, like the time is now for him to step up. I mean, he's got to be. I mean,
Romeo.
definitely don't. Yeah, Romeo Dobbs don't mind him playing him there, but unfortunately, it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, DK had 23 on his
Yep.
bench. DK is the number one guy, so I would think like he isn't a buy this week, but you just maybe play him consistently. And in Jamar Chase, I mean, for rankings wise, and people that rank him, he's not ranked high right now. It's like in the 20, 30 range. So it's like right now, it's just you got to start him because he's your number one pick. And just, but if another bad game happens, I mean, is there would it say like you would have to bench Jamar Chase? Is that crazy to say? But maybe not. But his team not too many backup options. So obviously we'll get into when we mentioned week 5. He had a great start tonight with Kendrick Bourne. So, but at the end of the day, it's just like Logan's team just on fire and highlighted by the great Puka Nacua. I had a great chance to keep him. It was definitely thought for a little bit too. It was like thinking about, okay, you keep him, you keep a stud, or you just get great value in like the 11th round. Nothing wrong with that for me, but like, you know, Puka Nacua is just fucking just destroying teams. I think he made Xavier Howard retire. I think
Yeah.
for a second
Yeah.
time, he just went off on them, pasted them. 36 points is a great number, and then that's not the only reason why he won. Just highlighting that fact, but like James Cook again with 22, and Hampton just back to back weeks, he's just going off. It's definitely paying out for him in a big way. So Logan, reversing his fortunes and doing a great job from last year. I had a tough year last year. Guys just didn't perform very well for his team. Kind of like, but yeah, James Cook, the second RB in fantasy right now, and Hampton's creeping up the rankings too. So if he gets Brock
Yeah.
Bowers to maybe stay a little, maybe get healthier, he's gonna have a pretty legitimate team the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really more to kind of note. I mean, you kind of nailed everything on the head. I think, kind of what we said last week. I mean, I know Ben was definitely, kind of leaning in a little bit to my Packer fandom, we'll sort of say. And I mean, hey, I mean, he popped off on that first catch. I mean, Matthew Golden, I thought was in a really good spot. I mean, definitely his best week. He plays Trevion Henderson. He gets in the end zone. But just not enough volume really to solidify a matchup where you're going against, Puka Nacua, who's the number one fantasy player right now. I mean, outside of quarterbacks, let's just, he's the number one fantasy player. I mean, we're not, I think he gets discredited a little bit in the sense that we never necessarily put him in the threshold of like Jamar Chase, Jefferson, some of these stud guys, but the guy's a stud. He is, like Snyder said a few weeks ago, he is a unique player that can really do everything and is super athletic. So I mean, the guy's awesome to watch, and we just mentioned James Cook and Amari Hampton now is really starting to take off. I mean, 27 is freaking awesome from your RB, especially considering tough loss, but it's good to see from the Bastards that like he gets his rookie running back on his team, and the role is solidified. The guy looks great. He has three big guns. We'll call him that, and Brock Bowers, his keeper, who everyone from last year thought surefire number one tight end. Is having a slow start, but it doesn't affect him. 3-1, he's looking good, and
Right.
he takes most points this week. So it's a nice little 20 spot, I think, is $25. I forgot what the payouts are now, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's all the week.
Oh yeah.
I, oof,
Holy hell.
good golly, yeah. I don't, what, I mean, everyone was on it. Steve was on it quick. We had a final send off, so to speak, with Logan's final text. This is by far without, Logan throwing a week to really do this song, which Logan, I know you're going to be listening. We kind of need this, man. We're in week 5. Let's get this song out just for the people at this point. I don't know what the production value is or how much you paying these guys, but unless Jay-Z's producing it, I think we need to get this out here. Any case, kick a man while he's down, but the plantation, all of his crops are depleted. His his labor is they're not even listening at this point. They're just doing whatever they want to do at this point. There is just no production at the plantation right now. It's as bad as I've ever seen from a team that Andy drafted, as we mentioned, numerous times. It's just uncharacteristic. It's a very bad team, a team that's severely underperforming. I will say that. Definitely had some injuries, but 41. That is you know, the worst, literally the worst score we've ever seen in fantasy football in the PPR format. So, and Snide, we'll just go over there. I mean, there's nothing to highlight on Andy's team. Literally nothing. AJ Brown is garbage, absolute garbage. And Derrick Henry. So his first two picks are just terrible. I mean, they're just not doing anything compared to what their normal status of the name. It's a name value thing. I thought Derrick Henry. I didn't expect this, and now with Lamar out, who knows? But we'll get to that in week 5. I mean, the only thing that you can say like, hey, looking forward to next year. I mean, it sucks to say that he could go on a run, but I mean, the kid out of Carolina is a stud, McMillan. A little subdued game, but pretty much the only highlight that you can say from the plantation. This is gonna be a whole new team that we're gonna talk about in week 5 for Snai, but you know, Patrick Mahomes, vintage performance, 35. What a great start there. Um, or I mean, from a quarterback standpoint, I should say, not from a start of the week, but um, and our boy Josh Jacobs,
Okay.
guy really got it together. I mean, obviously going against Dallas isn't anything to hold a lot of weight to because their defense is so bad, but he looked awesome. He looked awesome on that game. I mean, as a Packers fan, a draw, Jesus, unbelievable. But yeah, he looked really good, and yeah, I mean, Snai, we'll get to it, but I was coming off a 139 point week. I didn't expect him to shuffle his team as much as he did, but we'll get to that in a little bit here. But yeah, pretty pretty straightforward win here. He wins by basically 100.
Yeah, just a disgusting, despicable performance by Dre. Crazy. Obviously an all black team, no whites involved, but maybe that just a little bad juju there for the plantation. But unfortunately, just a lost season. It just sucks to say, of course, for anybody. This one, it's just guys are not performing. Derrick Henry, the highlight. Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, of course. Derrick Henry, very strange. Week one he goes off. You're thinking,
It's
okay,
been very bad.
Derrick Henry hasn't lost a step, and then you give him only 11, 10, 8, 12 carries, whatever it is. You had a costly fumble, against Detroit in this game. Just like they're down, and he's not going to be involved in the offense. He just got pretty much phased out. Lamar gets hurt, and who knows? But I mean, doesn't look like great days ahead for him. But you never know. I mean, you never know. But like, it's just tough. Like no one's producing well on this team. He gets Jaden Daniels back, hopefully healthy. I mean, that's he's definitely a major upgrade over Geno Smith, and Jaden Daniels is a stud. So hopefully he gets him back and gets a little momentum there. But I guess this matchup, just like you said, pretty straightforward. It's an awful performance. And Snide does very well with Holmes and then Jacobs, which I thought was crazy that he was going to get that much that much like volume, I guess, because like the offensive line, I touched on it last week, like a couple guys banged up, and he's definitely was due for a good game. I didn't think it was going to be this game, even though Dallas defense is terrible. I just thought with a couple like little offensive lineman issues, I thought maybe not, but he just proved me wrong there, and I'm happy to see that. Watching the Jets game too, I thought Brees Hall, they were just like run the ball a lot. The first drive, it was like 12 rushes and like maybe one pass. It was kind of crazy. They also got Braylon Allen involved, but Brees was definitely, but now with the injury, Brees Hall is doesn't have to worry too much about like Braylon Allen taking away his touches right now. So definitely we'll touch on the trade obviously. So you just look at the score. It really isn't not much to say anymore. Just a blowout, an annihilation, and see if he's gonna get his first win soon, Mr. Drake.
Yeah, I we'll get to week 5. I haven't really looked at his team, this week with some healthy, options, I should say. But yeah, tough sledding for Dre, man. It's I just hopefully he keeps himself kind of in the league. I mean, it's always fun to get him on the pod. Hopefully we get him on. I just don't feel like there's. I mean, this was not the week to offer it to him. I'll say that.
No.
Clemson White finally used a nice piece of ass for his pitcher here. Um, Finally upgraded. Didn't do any of the work. Just used what Rick found for him, which is pathetic. Come on, Phil, get it together. It's pathetic. But I mean, Phil's team keeps winning. He gets a 3-1 as well. Um, Takes out the champ. I mean, really, I mean, the most I would say the biggest highlight, I should say, just looking at it was obviously the Lamar injury. That really, is not expected. You think it's going to be a shootout game, obviously against Kansas City. Both teams are kind of in a must-win situation, and you know, we'll see how long he's out for. But it's an injury that doesn't only take him out for week 4. It's going to be a couple weeks. It sounds like kind of a week-to-week thing, but hamstring injuries, especially for a running quarterback, are not going to be something that they're going to take lightly. Um, so yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, but that's definitely a lost opportunity in terms of points. Rick's got to be pretty excited to at least see that his first round pick, Janty, um, finally seems to, kind of get going a little bit this week. I mean, 33 is a hell of a performance, obviously, but let's see, if he can sustain it. I mean, he did look really good, unfortunately, in that loss to Chicago. But yeah, I mean, that he's got to be pretty happy based off the fact that he got that production from him, his first round pick, and a little subdued game from Jonathan Taylor, I'll say that. He had his opportunities, obviously. I mean, I know there's a ton of stuff if you look it up on what was the receiver's name, Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell. Yeah,
Yeah, who had just two horrific blunders in that game to kind of cost him that. One was that holding penalty with Taylor scores,
yeah.
and then that drop fumble out of the end zone or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, some costly mistakes, yeah, some points on the board. So a little unlucky from Rick's side, but and then going over to Phil Sny. I mean, Bijan Robinson has been fucking incredible. I mean, the guy runs like nobody else in the league. In my opinion, his fluidity and just shiftiness is really kind of unlike anyone else, in my opinion. From when you watch the game, there's some of those runs that he does are just insane. And um, I kind of criticize a little bit. I mean, just how consistent this guy is, but. Shakir, I mean, you had some shares, I think, last year, maybe the year before, Anth. I mean,
Yeah, last year. Yep.
he's steady.
Oh yeah, got him in a trade. Got him in a trade for Cortland Sutton after he put up a
Oh
0.0
yeah,
target performance. So yeah, that's yeah, definitely a solid productive player to have for sure for Buffalo. I mean, they haven't really like settled in on like their top receiver too. So it's kind of
yep,
strange. But like Kincaid will have his moments. I mean, obviously they run it very well. Josh Allen can obviously do it on the ground, but yeah, for sure. So in this matchup here, like it's just I think the Lamar Jackson injury was a I mean, going into it, I picked Colombian White in the upset pick. I think that was like one of the reasons why. I don't know. There wasn't really a reason why I picked it. I was just like, all right, well, the upset special of the week, I got to go with Colombian White. I was, and he obviously proved me right. I got undefeated in the picks and in my procrastination. So like just a great game for Bijan, obviously, like you said, and he's just been a stud. He's just one of the best running backs in the league. So he's going to put up points every week. That's what you need, obviously, to hopefully win. You need Bijan, your studs, to step up, and he did that very well. I mean, Kyron was a little subdued, obviously, with the fumble, and he obviously hasn't got rid of his fumble issues because he fumbled in this game.
yeah, it's
On
overtime.
yeah, exactly. I just saw look at the phone right now, but yeah, I think the Lamar Jackson injury because Lamar Jackson had like 3 weeks in a row 30 points. So like
Yep.
if he hits that total, he beats Phil. So but Phil is fortunately for him that didn't happen. And despite the fact that Gene T has 33 points, it's a great game. Um, and it's definitely better days ahead for Rick. I mean, still got a good team with Taylor and Gene T, but like he has Baker Mayfield on his
Yep.
bench. But obviously Lamar Jackson offers more consistent, I guess not production, but he's gonna. I mean, he's obviously the MVP, an MVP type player. So
Yep.
yeah, it's tough to compare the two, but still not a bad option to have on your bench for a couple weeks, however it will be. But for him, he needs more production from his other receiver spot because Devontae Smith hasn't been that because Jalen Hurts doesn't really throw the ball that well. They didn't. Is that I forget the stat? Was the stat that they didn't have a one passing yard in the second half of that game? I think that was
Yeah,
the
it's something wild like that. I
same.
mean, it's been bad. Their passing offense has been non-existent pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And he had to start Tucker and his flex. I mean, he's coming off a huge week, but like guys like that, it's like tough to like. They're gonna have a pop off game, like a huge game out of nowhere, and it's like I wouldn't bet on that happening too many times. I mean, he comes back down to earth with only four, so a little tricky. But like the touchdown stands for Taylor, or Lamar Jackson has that 30-point game. We're maybe thinking Ship Lizard will be 3-1, but fortunately, just not enough in the tank for Mr. Shit.
Yeah, nothing going for the Blizz this week, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
we'll get to your matchup. I mean,
what a game!
really had to sweat it out until the last minute, really. Just in terms of that. I mean, crazy. Really, honestly, that you should have gotten it probably a lot sooner than you did. I'll say that, just from watching the game. I mean, it's Tyreek goes out, horrific injury, another injury for Finkel. Seems to be racking up the last few years of your um, we'll say your studs. I mean, I wouldn't say early round picks. Obviously, this was a second round pick for you, but yeah, pretty rough injury. I mean, he wasn't doing anything substantial for you. But yeah, just another player that you can't, is gone for the rest of the year for you. So I mean, it's disappointing from that standpoint. Garrett Wilson looks like a freak. You mentioned that I think last week or the week before. Just player studs, stud receiver. Just play him. Comes through for you late, even though I think that early one that he got called on a push off, which I thought was pretty soft. Um, you would have won it with that. So, um, yeah, you squeak a nice little win here. Sorry, Steven. It started out pretty awful for you. I'll say that. It seemed like every one of his players scored within like the first 30 minutes of the 1 o'clocks.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, definitely a lot to touch on here. Obviously, like I touched on this in the pod last week, but I was like, Josh, I think it was like London didn't have a good game the week before. I was like, his team was due to go off. I thought the same for Neighbors as well. I was like, all right, Steve's gonna go off. He's saving it. He's saving it from me because the week before, I think he put up maybe 70 points. I think it was. I don't want to
I'm
say for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 70. He's 71. He lost 128 to 71. So I was like, all right, well, Neighbors had three, Kamara six. I mean,
Yeah.
Judkins was in the
Yeah.
lineup. I
He's
was
a future
gonna
week.
go
You're
off.
right.
So fortunately, I was like, all right, well, I'm in trouble here. But man, it sucks to see an injury. Fortunately for my team, Tillman gets knocked out early. Neighbors, obviously tears his, whatever, and tears his Achilles, and that's a huge loss and huge way. It's a tough to come back from that. So I was like, all right,
Think it was
felt
ACL. ACL.
yeah, okay, was it okay? Got you, I got you. Thanks for that. Yeah, just a crazy injury and definitely a tough loss for Steve. It's just like battling back. It's like, okay, Saquon wasn't doing much, and Chuba the same thing. So I go into like the 4 o'clocks and Sunday night, like, all right, well, see what happens. And unfortunately for me, like I got sort of lucky, and those are the injuries on his side, and the fact that like Garrett Wilson, because Tucker Kraft actually too. So Garrett Wilson and Tucker Kraft, Tucker Kraft had a chance to score a touchdown. I was like,
Yep.
yeah, I'm like cheering, like let's go. As a Packer fan and as like fantasy, I'm like that's huge. Gets called short. It's like, oh fuck, here we go.
Yep.
Like it's gonna be tough to come back. And I was like, all right, well, two players going into Monday night, felt pretty confident. And Tyreek Hill actually was playing pretty well. I mean,
Yep.
he was playing well. Like he was the one that was scoring all the points. Garrett Wilson didn't have a catch. I don't think until like late in that half. It's like, oh boy, here we go. Like this is gonna come up short. And of course, Hill gets fucking hurt on that play. It's like, yeah,
Hmm.
like he might have had like more than 12. He would have had at least like maybe he could have scored. I think he was on his way to like an 18, maybe 20-point game. But fortunately for me, Garrett Wilson does it. Gets a great catch. Pretty much mosses the guy and gets his catch after like that bullshit fucking penalty call. So, but yeah, just like pouring one out for Tyreek. Unfortunately, another guy that gets picked like one of my top two picks goes out, just like last year. But hey, able to win to withstand it, go to 3-1. Pretty psyched about that. So yeah, definitely happy to see that. But yeah, just a fortunate victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah. You failed to mention, obviously, like we just, it's good to note Malik Neighbors, unfortunately, gone for the year as well. So, two um, top names, we'll say, for especially with Neighbors kind of, in the second year. And, Tyreek's Tyreek. So, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, football's a crazy sport, man. We just, so many injuries. But, Steve, you're 1-3, bud. You're just outside of Andy. So. looking up. Um, let's get to this one, which, yeah, I had Ryan in this one. I think this is another one that we split on, that you nailed with the goose. Going back, Aaron and I were texting obviously with that pickup, and he was like, "Yeah, it would have been nice to play Gainwell, but how do you play Gainwell when you pick him up, even if he's a starter? Kind of last minute, but gets to a nice like 122 total. Projections had this like, I mean, literally even 117.78 to 117.80,
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow.
Um,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, that's insane, but. Yeah, really, really nice week from the Goose. He keeps kind of moving along. I think like keep noting, credit where credit's due. He's got a good team. Like obviously like some of his pieces, and Thursday that was a Thursday night game, right? Arizona, Seattle.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was yep. So that was a pretty decent start from him, and yeah, I think just Ryan. Unfortunately, just a kind of a subdue game with a couple duds. I mean, Caleb kind of in a smash spot. I mean, Caleb Williams, I think he's a top five quarterback when I was looking at this. Well, just outside, he's six right now. But I mean, 13 in a win. Not the greatest performance from your quarterback. You'd expect to get a couple more points out of him. And yeah, Lad McConkey, let's just talk about him. I mean, it's been super disappointing. Just he's kind of just fell down on that pecking order now in LA where he's arguably their third. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he kind of it seems like that. You know what I mean? It just like he's spreading it out so much, but Lad's just not getting the work.
Yeah, very surprising. As someone that has Ladd McConkey in my other league, just very surprising. I mean, he had a great year last year, just a great, great, great player. Um, Even with Keenan coming in, you're thinking, okay, that's not going to affect too much. But if Johnson, he's a first round pick, Ladd's a second round pick. It really doesn't matter, I guess, where you pick the guy in the draft, but the guy's going to perform. I mean, you gotta give him the rock. I mean, Herbert gets another guy like that he can throw a ball to, but yeah, it's very not what Ryan expected, obviously, but he's been able to withstand that his lack of production with like obviously having Christian McCaffrey go off. He's staying healthy, and he just has like 20 points like every single week. So like much as
That.
frustrated of myself for seeing like I could have had a chance to maybe draft, but I wasn't going to go through that again. So I was like, all right, he was hurt last year for me. Even though 2 years ago he was one of the reasons why I was had such a good team. The next year you keep him, and it's like he was out almost all year. So definitely good to see for Ryan's sake. I mean, Ryan's loving that, loving seeing McCaffrey go off every week. But for this particular performance, yeah, Ladd's a huge reason why he lost, and like a huge blunder. Maybe usually we haven't seen too many like maybe start sit like decisions that have go in your favor or against you. And this case, George Pickens on his bench. George Pickens had 33.
Yeah,
With CD out, not I mean you're not expecting him to go off. He literally fucking destroyed Green Bay. I mean Green Bay
yeah,
couldn't even
kind
couldn't
of.
even couldn't even guard him. I mean, you know, Hobbs and fucking that was a
Valentine.
Valentine just literally were on ice skates. It was insane. So like, definitely a big blunder there by Mr. Tiburon, his stacked team. Unfortunately, in his his esteemed words, could not get the job done. And the Goose keep flying high, 3-1. I mean, keep nothing too too crazy about his. It was just a solid game by each guy individually.
Yeah.
The defense does very very well. I mean, Marvin Harrison luckily scored for him because like he had like a bad drop, that led to an interception for Kyler that was fumbled then, so it was kind of a crazy play. And despite the fact that Jackson Smith and Jigba didn't do much until like the second half, he still finds a way to win. So good win for Aaron as he continues moving on up, and at 3-1 sits to second place. So good stuff. And the Geese getting a lot of love from us on the pod, and rightfully so, with second place so far.
Yeah, I just grabbed my charger, but yeah, I
Cool.
mean, nothing more to note, besides the fact that Ryan and the North somehow claimed that George Pickens was the play. I mean, maybe that was a Snyder move where he, saw kind of what the lineup was going to be, and maybe thought that that was necessarily going to be the play for them. But yeah, it's an interesting move. We'll say that they we'll get to that a little bit. I don't have the stats in front of me, but it is nice
Mhm.
to finally get a win from the South. in this All-Star matchup. But yeah, it's yeah, George Pickens. He's got a Brian's got a good team and kind of a plethora of fucking options. I'll say that. I mean, he's got a deep bench. We'll get to that in week 5 here when we talk about that Bucky Irving injury that could potentially be looming. We'll see what happens there, but yeah, it's like you said, the goose flies high.
Sir.
Let's get to the league and just kind of recap a little bit here in terms of the standings. Bastards, like we said, we got 4 3-1 teams, including yourself, which is kind of nice. Starting to separate a little bit here. Like I said, Steve gets to 1-3. Arby's is 1-3. Dre still looking out for that first victory. And then just a bunch of 2-2 teams kind of clustered there in the middle. So I think it's only right that we go to the Fab quick, talk about
Mm-hmm.
the trade, and then we'll just do our projections.
Oh yeah, another another trade in the other league. Want to just hit on the Fab first for sure.
Yeah, we'll touch on the Fab. I mean, there nothing like I guess super crazy. I mean, I thought this was interesting. Again, I beat out Andy by $1 for Kendry Miller, who may or may not make my lineup this week, but hopefully can provide at least some depth. To a very shallow RB room for Green Bowl. So I thought that was interesting. Seeing the next morning, I'm like, damn, Andy put 23. I thought 24 was insane, but. Yeah, we scoop him up. Matthew Stafford, who we'll get to, is having a pretty nice game for me tonight. Um, and then Arizona Anth just missed out, and,
Yep.
and Hollywood Brown back on the old fab bidding. Colombian White scoops him up too. So let's go to the trade. Let's just talk on this trade real quick. I wish I did have Snide this, tonight, just in the sense that we kind of texted a little bit about some of the breakdown of his trade. So, I mean, from his standpoint, he makes in his opinion, a pretty big upgrade with Trey McBride, which I, agree with. I think he is treating him more of a, kind of a higher end receiver in his tight end, spot, which I agree with. Definitely more consistent than Hunter Henry, but I think overall from a point standpoint, I mean, the tight end position in a PPR league with those guys, I mean, it's pretty even. From they're actually averaging the same amount of points through 4 weeks, which is crazy. So, interesting there. I mean, I do think there's definitely more upside with Trey and probably a little bit more of a floor, we'll call it. But I do think, from the guys that he gave away, I mean, Scottaboo right now is a starting running back. Um, Maybe slightly downgrade on the tight end, but still a serviceable one with Hunter Henry. And, Nico Collins, I think, is definitely more valuable right now than Brian Thomas. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think Steve might have just been trying to get a little bit of a rye out of Snide, but on paper, at least right now, I would say that Snide gave away a little bit more. Um, but if Brian Thomas comes around and Trey McBride ends up being the tight end one again, he's got a pretty good team and he's got some receiver depth to, I guess, kind of absorb that.
Yeah, true. The breakdown you had was definitely right on the money. I can't say like who I would lean towards, like who won the trade, because like you said, yeah, definitely a lot. Yeah, Brian Thomas has to be the guy that he was last year, even come close to it. I mean, right now he's even come close to it. I don't really. There's not much to like about what Jacksonville's doing offensively. Trevor Lawrence just might not be the guy, but I mean, it didn't stop him last year for having a great season. So
Yep.
it comes down to that really. And Nico, same with Nico. I mean, Nico hasn't been that wide receiver one. He's set it and forget it. Like he's top guy. Like he just with CJ Stroud, I don't know what the hell's going on with him in Houston. So it's like, and he doesn't really have a lot of like competition for targets. I mean, obviously Tank Dell had that nasty injury. Diggs is gone. I mean, you have Christian Kirk, but I mean, Christian Kirk is not really that great. And then like Schultz is like a mediocre tight end now. So it's like the run game is just like obviously Willie Marks looks pretty good, but yeah, that's the key. Like that little swap there is the big one. I mean, he gets. I mean, obviously
Yep.
McBride is a huge get for Snide. I feel like he's the big piece of the puzzle. So we'll see. And also back to the Fab, like fucking Dre just can't catch a break. You can't get
Yeah, I
anybody.
know.
He fucking misses out on
Seriously.
Dalton Cade, and not that it was gonna help his fucking 40 performance, but come on, Dre, let's go. Let's get on the horse a little bit. Let's get a victory here. Let's get a victory here in week 5.
Yeah, well, we'll see here, but yeah, I think I'm pretty sure they just missed a field goal at the end of the game there.
I think
So
it went for fourth down. This is honestly crazy. Even like not like maybe not the craziest other league like update here, but like during the Thursday night game, went for fourth down, and the Niners stopped them, I think,
was
and
that what it was? I saw the timeout right
yeah,
before, yeah, and then I charged my computer. Okay, yeah,
game louses. Niners in
wow,
big.
Niner gang somehow finds a way. Well, a lot of points kind of thrown out through some of these matchups because it's tonight. So let's get to it.
Ooh,
Start
this
out with me. I mean, going into it, before tonight, I would say that I was a pretty, pretty big underdog. Um, as you mentioned, I mean, Jalen Warren is on bye, so don't really have another option right now, unfortunately, at running back. So we're kind of screwed. Damn, I got to plug this in, but I'm going to keep talking and pass it off to you real quick. But
okay,
good. I guess good fab spending on the Stafford front. He throws up a 31 spot, and
nice.
um, yeah, it absorbs a little bit of what McCaffrey looked like he was going to do. The guy looked like he was going to go for 50. I'll leave it here, Ian.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely. I mean, like we're watching the game a little bit at the Quake at the bar, like watching the Quake game. Like, oh, it's gonna be the McCaffrey show because I mean, with those guys injured, you got guys that are out. So you got Pearsall's out, Jawan Jennings is out, and McCaffrey just proved once again that he's just gonna like go off every week. Apparently now this year, I mean, 20, insane. So consistent he's been. When healthy, arguably, like you said, RB1, arguably. So just a great performance, and they win the game. So it was insane. But like Stafford with a huge game, back to back 30-point game. So he's been good. Devontae was like kind of like gone missing on a milk carton. He was first. He did nothing. Got a
Yep.
couple catches there in the fourth to like put his number at a respectable line at the projected spot. So tough to say. Even with Bucky Irving probably not going to play, he isn't he's was in a walking boot. He played great. Played great last week. I mean,
Yep.
he didn't touch on it in the recap, but he played great. Unfortunately, gets banged up, but the trade with you works out in his favor because he's got the handcuff. He's got the handcuff with
Yep.
Rashad White, so he could just, I mean, slide him in there if he wants to. And then, I mean, Jordan Mason's still on his bench, so he could always put him in. But I mean, I don't know who I would lean towards, or, I mean, it's tough. I mean, Lamb McConkey being so shitty, I mean, I would even say maybe not even play him, maybe play Rashad White and Jordan Mason because I know it's full point PPR, but like, White's going to get you the catches. And, Jordan Mason could be the guy that's in your, RB spot with Christian McCaffrey. So tough to say. As far as a prediction, I mean, it's tough because it's a unique situation where like guys are playing already. I mean, I
Yep.
don't know. It's like this the two Seattle backs just give me obviously pause. I mean, of course, nothing you can do about it. And just like a gut call here. It's a kind of a coin flip. But I'm gonna go with Green Ball.
Wow.
Can't go against Green Ball. It's a homer pick. Sorry, Ryan, but I'm just gonna go with Green Ball, and I'm not saying an upset. But just the guys like Amon Ra and Justin Jefferson, those two guys right there. And Stafford having 31 is huge. I don't expect Justin Fields to get to that
Yeah.
number. So I think that's the key for me. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna still pick Ryan because I feel like there's definitely a little bit of a hole there, like you mentioned. Yeah, I don't really have a third running back right now that I can throw in there with confidence. I mean, it's unfortunate, but um, like you mentioned, I think he's in a good spot. That Ryan's got a lot of depth, and yeah, I mean, I gave him his handcuff, so it does look silly, especially now that I have to face probably most likely Rashad White this week. It seems like, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Ryan, and good start on Thursday night though. I'll say that Green Bull's super happy with the fab bidding that I had on Stafford, and yeah, I'll take 31 all day. So yeah, uphill battle, but we'll see what happens.
hmm.
The Bastards.
Hmm.
See what happened tonight.
Wow, what
Damn,
a game!
Kyron could have had way more too. I mean, that fumble on the one. I mean, he basically was about to walk it in. So, um, yeah, interesting. Let me gonna look at the lineups here. I mean, are we? Oh yeah. So, I mean, good week for the Bastards to get Colombian White without Bijan
Yeah,
and honestly Swift. I mean, I didn't really touch on him last week, but down the stretch there, Chicago leaned on him on that final drive,
Yeah.
pretty significantly. I mean, he's kind of solidified as their number one for sure. Which, going into the season, you might not necessarily said, that you thought maybe Rashawn Johnson. Now they're talking about Monange or whatever the hell his name is. I mean, they're not using anyone else besides Swift, really. I mean, he's getting all the work. So, um, yeah, tough week for Phil. He's really, really depleted. But 31's a hell of a start. I'll say that. He's got to play Kareem Hunt as his RB2, talking about from another manager to another that needs to just have no, there's not a lot of RB depth out there to be had really for a lot of managers. So, um, yeah, he's got to be feeling good about the start. But I mean, this is essentially the full lineup. I mean, that flex spot is going to be interesting for Logue. I mean,
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp could be a play. Woody Marks, they're talking very, very highly of. I mean, I think, you got to get him maybe in the lineup.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
or RJ Harvey. I mean, tough matchup at Philly, but he looked pretty good last week. And you got Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix he's the passing down guy, so passing down back, I should say. So it's an option for sure for his flex option. But yeah, I like the Bastards here.
Yeah, me too. Despite the fact that I picked Phil the upset special of the week last week, he came through for me. The loss of Bijan for the bye is going to be tough to overcome, but obviously Kyron put up Bijan like numbers with 31, with obviously two receiving touchdowns too. I mean, he had 8 catches tonight, which is insane.
Yep.
Um, the other side, Puka obviously with another great performance. Guy's unbelievable again. Just continues his fucking torch pace, not that many receiving yards, but still gets 24. So yeah, just like it's tough to overcome, despite the fact that I don't like the flex. Cooper Cup is just is not there anymore. I think he's washed, but he might be able to overcome that with great performances by Hampton and Puka obviously tonight, and then James Cook. So the key is Brock Bowers. I mean, Brock Bowers obviously on the questionable side right now. It didn't practice, so
Yeah.
yeah. His backup is nobody right now. He's Cole Kmet's on bye, so
Yep.
definitely he's got to scour the waiver wire to find a tight end. Maybe Michael Mayer, maybe the backup. I don't know who's out there. Quick glance, but yeah. Despite that, I mean, I just think I think he's just gonna have enough to do it. Without Bijan, it might be tough. And the Eagles have a tough matchup against Denver, so Hurts hasn't been great throwing the ball, and unless he gets a couple, on the ground, might be tough. Those are two key cogs of his team. One's on bye, the other one has a tough matchup. So I'm just gonna go with Logue here.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Logue, I got three tight ends. I know Kyle Pitts is on bye, so if you need something,
There you go.
talk to me.
Right.
Yeah, talk to me. Why not? We're on the pod.
Little Woody Marks for little Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Pitts is on bye, so it won't do him any good this week.
Oh
But
shit.
not a bad talk, not a bad option.
Scratch from the tape. I'm a retard.
Edit it, edit it. But all right, let's get in here. Arby's and oof, basically the toilet bowl here in week five. The 11 versus 12 here. Um, oh my God, he played Kendrick Bourne. Holy fuck. What a play though.
What a
Um,
what?
every time I looked up, Kendrick Bourne was like getting one of those cat. It was like him or CMC this tonight, basically.
Yeah, surprising to see that too. Like, I mean, Kendrick Bourne comes out of nowhere with that fucking performance. Wow.
I mean, I know DK's on by. Yeah, I was gonna say, and so is Matthew Golden, his two boys. So,
Hey,
um,
go for it. Go for the home
pick
run.
pick up pick up and pick up a player and plug them in when you have to with buys. So, good play. I mean, everyone was injured. I mean, Kendrick Bourne was literally their number one, so definitely not a bad play. But definitely a nice hit for Arby's and poor Dre probably just sitting there like, geez, can I catch a break? I mean, Kendrick Bourne, 10 for 142. That sucks. And then Arby's is gonna throw in Michael Carter, who's I don't even know if he's necessarily the starter there or not. I guess he doesn't really have any confidence in Pacheco. I mean, even though he scored last week. So um, on side, I guess he gets Jaden Daniels, which is kind of a tough matchup though against the Chargers. And then is Terry's out already? Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
must
he's
be.
out. So
Yeah.
I mean, he and Debo didn't practice, so like he needs the
Oh,
he Wow, if Debo doesn't play, Jesus Christ. Well, who the hell is Daniels throwing the ball to? Zach. Hopefully he's peppering Zach Ertz. I have Zach Ertz playing, so pepper Zach Ertz.
Yeah. Yeah, this is man,
The
two
shit bowl. This is the
yeah,
shit
I was
bowl.
gonna say two really pretty
Unfortunately.
interesting teams here that we gotta pick one from, I guess. I'm gonna go with Dre. Dre gets his first.
Ooh. All right. See, I was like thinking about that too. Like, oh, let's get Dre a victory. Let's go. Let's make Dre great again. Let's go, baby. All right, I'm going with Dre too. Yeah, I'm going with Dre. I mean, I don't. I might fall flat on my face and get all my picks wrong this week, but hey, got to go on the limb sometimes. And despite the fact that Bourne gets 24, I mean
Ah, Rams
the
D. That's
Rams D in a great spot too. Like you're thinking they're home. The Niners are banged up and they get fucking 1.75 points. Oof, tough one. This is the make or break for Arby's though. Like despite the fact that I'm picking Dre, like I mean this is they're playing Detroit too, a tough matchup. I don't think they can get it right, but I mean he has a chance if maybe Chase has a fucking 20-pointer and Brown gets in the end zone, but
yeah.
it's just gonna be tough. But go with Dre as well, get his first victory. So we'll see if that comes true.
Yeah, I like it. So I think we're chalk right now, right? We picked. Oh no, you picked Green Ball. You picked
Yeah, I did.
myself and I didn't. So that's the only
Yep.
thing here.
hmm
The B, fresh off a team, and let's highlight some of his newly acquired. Nico Collins. Pretty much plays everyone's getting in the lineup this week. Everyone that he traded for. Um, damn, Steve played Demarcus Robinson. What a homer pick from a Niner fan. I mean, well, Jennings was out. Drake London's
Revenge
on
game.
bye. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, I
yeah.
see it. I see it. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, and you can't really trust Travis Hunter. He's been pathetic. So, yeah, not a terrible play, I guess, if you kind of need to stream somebody there. So,
Mm.
but yeah, not the production you want. Let's just kind of roll through here. I mean, got a really nice lineup from the Beeve this week. I mean, Jalen
But
Waddle's just gonna just take over that number one spot. They're at Carolina. Um, yeah, I like the Beeve. I like the Beeve on paper right now.
yeah, I'm gonna lead towards him as well. Yeah, just a ragtag group of players that put in Steve's lineup. Unfortunately for him,
Yeah.
injuries have did him in a little bit with some of his guys. I mean, obviously neighbors being the huge one, but like I mean, I get it. Tyreek's out, but having to play Malik Washington can't and Demarcus Robinson can't feel good. Um, didn't get a revenge game for Demarcus Robinson tonight. It was a Kendrick Bourne show. Has some nice pieces with Judkins and Tyler Warren. Those two guys have been playing very well as rookies, very rookie heavy. But like those, it's funny the three teams that are at the bottom of the standings, like Dre, Arby's, and Steve. They've made like the most moves. I mean, Dre's made 15 and Steve's made 14. They're kind of playing like roulette and dominoes. It's like, all right, like who's the next guy? I think like he picked up like Theo Johnson and dropped in for
hmm
Demarcus Robinson. I think like Dre picked up like Isaiah Bond, who actually doesn't even have a pitcher. That was a funny thing. I was gonna mention it when we did he dropped him. He dropped him
Oh,
now.
okay.
Like we were talking about like fab bits and like I was gonna mention like how many when you're you got to try to do something. But like it's like, oh, you picked up Isaiah Bond and they just like dropped him again for like Jaden Blue and like Bond didn't have a fucking pitcher, which is kind of crazy. But regardless of this matchup here, just like the Beeve, trying out his new players, just looks very very strong this week. Nico Johnston, obviously Achan, Scatabo. Those four are the main cogs of his team, and then obviously it's Hunter Henry as well. Houston against Baltimore, with Cooper Rush starting. So yeah, I don't see much to cheer about on Steve's side. So I'm going to go with the Beef.
Yeah, I agree. I just think there's just too much to make up for Josh Allen, and even though his running backs and tight end are solid, he's playing like you said he's throwing some darts with a couple other players that one already didn't really hit. So we'll see. Steve, tough matchup this week for you, bud.
Oh yeah.
Anth, you get the Blizz, man. You get our champ.
Oh yes.
Pretty tight in the projections early here. Nobody played tonight, which is good. Kind of dissect it a little bit here.
Oh yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
mentioned, Debo's questionable, so that's interesting. Juba,
Yeah. That's the key.
you got a lot of Q's on your
Yeah.
team too.
Yeah, it doesn't look too promising for me this week. That's why I was so happy to get that win last week. I mean, I didn't know that Chuba wasn't gonna like practice, and then
You got some options there, though. I mean,
yeah,
you got
true.
Dobbins and Rico obviously as potentials, and um, yeah, I mean, if both guys go out, you're kind of in trouble. But
Yeah, true. I think just actually, I think he made well. He had Devontae Smith's on his bench now, not playing Andrews. Playing I mean, obviously Lamar is out, so he's playing Schultz. Godwin had a lot of snaps last week, so like getting into high gear. Maybe this is the game where he's, shows out a little bit. It's gonna be tough. I just feel like with the buys and like the injuries and whatnot, I'm gonna pick Rick in this matchup. Even I lucked out a little. I lucked out a little bit with Lamar because I know he's capable of putting up 30, but Baker just as good. I mean, I'm playing at Seattle. It's maybe a little tougher. Seattle actually has a really good defense. But
number one defense right now. Yeah.
yeah, true. Like, yeah, Wandell obviously is thrust into the number one spot with Neighbors out. Just looking at some of his players, but like I just feel like a huge Jonathan Taylor game coming. But like he's the only really guy I would think is gonna like go off. But I just think like on my side, I really need Saquon to have a fucking monster game. I wish for that last week, and he just hasn't done it yet. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like I need you to average more than 50 yards a game. I need you to have 100 yards and two touchdowns. But tough matchup against Denver, so I don't know. Like, and you would think, okay, they're not throwing the ball a lot. Give him the rock a little bit, but like it's not been the same player as last year. So, but like just like with the injuries and whatnot, just I don't feel really good about this week for me. So I'm gonna go against myself and pick the shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is gonna be really close. We're kind of wait till we get to Sunday and kind of see what Pittman and Chuba and some of your where your lineup actually lands. But um, you can't discredit you got some really top heavy receivers. Saquon hasn't hit, but Garrett Wilson and Odunze, I know he's on bye, but kind of going back to this like wide receiver PPR format. I mean, Odunze's 3, Garrett Wilson's 5. Let's kind of scroll down here. I think yeah, Pittman's 13. So I mean, you haven't played Pittman really. I mean, where's Zay Flowers on that? I guess he kind of
He's
probably
close.
dropped off a little bit, right?
16, right underneath
Oh,
Jeff.
16. Yep, yep. So, I mean, your receivers have really carried you a little bit, kind of overcoming some of the injuries and maybe some of the slow start, obviously with Tyreek before it. Um, yeah, this is tight. I'm gonna go you. I'm gonna pick you here. I
Nice.
think you got some good players, and even if Saquon doesn't have a huge game, it's weird. I mean, that team's 4-0, and you would say that none of their players are necessarily going off. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just weird. They're finding ways to win, so we'll see. They have to get something clicking, whether it's passing or running. You would think it'd be running, but yeah, I'm gonna go with you here.
All right.
We split on our own matchups so
All
far. Weird.
right.
Um, yeah, here's another really good matchup. Projections are really close on this. And
Oh yeah.
Snide, kind of a brand new team a little bit, coming off a really nice win last week, both teams. Um, you know, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a tight matchup.
Oh
Let's kind of
yeah.
roll through it here.
Yeah, this is very
Javonte
close.
Williams, man, is a top 5 back right now in PPR. It's crazy. I was looking at that. I think he's like right. I think he's exactly at 5 or 6. I mean, it's crazy. Who would have thought Javonte Williams resurrecting from the dead?
Yeah, would have thought.
Wow,
Man,
this is not the week that Snide probably wanted to pick up Trey McBride playing against the silly goose Cardinals. I'll call them that. Jeez, guys got Kyler and Harrison obviously going every week, and that's definitely going to take away from McBride unless he gets in the end zone. I think so.
Mhm.
Which I mean, I guess in this case we'll cancel it out. But hmm, yeah, this is interesting. Travis Etienne also a top 10 running back right now in fantasy. That's crazy.
Oh yeah. Well,
Absolutely nuts.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man, juicy matchup against Cincy for Gibbs though.
Monday night's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be come down to like Monday night because I mean, Kelsey, ETN on the
Yep.
one side, and you got Mahomes, Worthy, and Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
That's pretty. So that's gonna go. That's gonna be probably might be the only matchup in our league that's down to Monday night
A lot of
possibly.
players. Yeah. 5. What we got? 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, that's you're right. I mean, these guys are gonna have to wait it out till Monday night with five guys going, and it's yeah. I mean, this is
Which is tough.
oof. I'm gonna pick Train or Iron Man. Sorry, geez. Um,
I know,
I'm
right?
gonna
It's
pick
tough.
Snai. I think I think I like his overall structure of his team, and they have some pretty good matchups. And I think Mahomes is on a mission right now. So I think that those two guys, his little stack that he's going to get going on Monday night is going to be nice. If Worthy's like finally healthy. I mean, I think he played last week, right?
Yeah, he
17, pretty
he
good
looked,
game.
he looked
Yeah.
good. He looked good last week.
Yeah, and not crazy volume really. I mean, 5 for 83. He had a couple rushes, but yeah, I think until Rashee Rice gets back in another couple weeks, I think he's going to be the focal point for their offense. So I'm gonna take the Iron Man.
Yeah, this is definitely tough. I mean, you could 100% be right here. I mean, you're not wrong by what you're saying here. And even this week, I mean, obviously CD Lamb being out. I mean, that's why I was kind of surprised to see him, make the trade to get rid of Nico. I mean, Lamb, it's maybe not a long-term injury, but if he's healthy, like Lamb, Nico, Josh Jacobs, obviously he's on bye. That's a pretty formidable, trio there. But yeah, it's tough to say. But I've been riding high with the Geese all year, and I'm not gonna stop now. I'm gonna go with Mr. Aaron, Mr. Geese. The ducks fly together. The geese fly together. So it's tough though. It really is. But
Yes, this is probably. I mean, I would say this is the matchup of the week, just on paper from projection wise and how tight this is going to be, and yeah, I would say arguably two of the better rosters in the league. I mean, like we keep
yeah,
giving credit to Aaron, but as you mentioned, I mean, dissecting that Snyder trade, the guy had really good pieces and depth to get to a point where he could, let's say I'm going to go upgrade my tight end. I'm going to
mm,
get a decent return, hopefully, in Brian Thomas that, you know, hopefully his trajectory is only going up, but, he can kind of weather that a little bit if Worthy, and Myers can fill in as a, wide receiver two or flex option if Thomas isn't the right guy. And,
yeah,
like you said, he's got CD and like, this lineup doesn't have CD in it or Josh Jacobs for him. And, he's looking really good,
mhm.
just from a depth perspective, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he's
oh yeah,
projections 116 Snai, and he has his two best players arguably are on a bye and injured. So yeah, I think these are two quality teams in the league so far without, any I mean Snyder obviously was CD, but not I would say no sustainable injuries, hopefully, in terms of like long term. So um yeah, this is going to be a close one. I think I'm going to label this as the game of the week.
Mhm.
Especially going into Monday nights. I think as a league, we can kind of keep our eye on depending on what happens during the week. But I think with all the players that are going to be going on Monday night, this is certainly going to be watchable and kind of a fun one for us to keep tabs on.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the key. That game's gonna be huge, and of course the Arizona game. So and McBride's a stud. So definitely, not shitting on the trade at all. It definitely could work out in both guys' favor. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, great to see the league shaping up a little bit here.
Yeah, no, this is kind of where we start seeing a little bit of separation from the cream rising to the top, so to speak, with you know, some of the records and injuries are going to start kind of unfortunately kind of popping their head up, and who has the depth really to weather it, and there's only I think really a few teams that do have that so far. So we'll see. I mean, more to come. It's uh it's fun. It's been fun. Glad we got on here and got another episode out for the guys tomorrow, and um it's something that we're going to keep rolling. Hopefully we'll have I want to start incorporating some new managers, just even if it's not for full eps, but at least getting guys on to give some takes, some perspective, some maybe some just kind of let some steam off, for
Yeah.
sure, of how their team's doing and getting some takes. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, Anthony. We're getting another one out, and I mean
Yeah.
you're rolling with the projections. I'll say that 6-0 last week. We'll see what happens this week.
gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to keep that train rolling there. A lot of tough matchups, a lot of up 50-50 battles. But yeah, it'd be nice to get some other people on, get some other voices, just to see like what their perspective is on the league and how their teams are doing. So like yeah, definitely, if you're listening, I'm sure you are, boys, and uh, you know, suggest to come on the pod. Talk to your boys. Pain Train. I don't care. I'm gonna call him Pain Train. Snide and Green Ball, and let's keep it going. It's fun.
Yeah, no, and I would say the one takeaway, like you just mentioned, to the pod, and hopefully, most, if not everyone's listening to it.
Mhm.
We try to do it Wednesday. This is obviously a Thursday night one, but I mean Wednesday night's typically the night we try to put together. So, anyone has any takeaways, even if you don't want to get on or want to send voice messages, whatever, to add to it, feel free to drop me a line. We'd love to spice it up. So,
Oh
but
no,
yeah, good luck to everybody this week. And hey, it's Red October.
go baby.
Go Phils. Go
Right.
Phils. All right. Ant.
All right, laces out.
Good night, brother.
All right, bro.